Hey guys, how's it going? I got some more sharp stuff to show you. I'm very excited to show these two new knives. Kind of a viewer's choice. I've had so many people request for me to pick these knives up and review, and recently I was extremely excited to have been offered them in a trade. And I said, you bet, I want them. And I got them, and I've been using them, and I love them. And here's the review. These are Ontario Rat Model 1 folders. First one here is black combo edge blade, and the second one, my preferred one, is the plain edge satin finish blade. And like I said, these are just fantastic knives. Right off the bat, I'll tell you, if you're interested in these knives, if you like this review, if you like other reviews you've seen, and if you're remotely interested in getting this knife, go out and get one. You know, who knows how long they're going to be around. Even though these, I believe these are out of production. I couldn't find them on Ontario's website. Um, but even though knives, they go out of production and they get a little bit harder to find, you can still find them. It's not impossible. I mean, if there's a knife you want, as long as it's not a one-off or something, if it's a production knife, you can find them. The problem is, the harder they are to get, the prices go up. They become more, I guess, collectible, more sought after, and the prices go up. Big appeal with these is that they are super cheap. On average, between $20 and $30 a piece. And for what you get, it's amazing. It's a great bargain. These knives are made in Taiwan. Some people might not like that. If you don't like that, you're missing out. If you only buy, all American, you're missing out with these knives because they are a huge bargain. But I understand it. That's fine. If you're like me, you don't really care where they're made as long as they're nice products. And these are very nice products. Um, First, let me go over some specs for you real quick. Both these knives are exactly the same spec-wise, besides the fact that, again, this is a combo edge and a coated blade. Besides that, they're identical. These have 3 1/4 inch blades on them. It's an AUS 8 stainless steel. These are flat ground blades, full flat grind, very effective slicing blade. Um, the handles are 5 inches long, so that makes it a 5 inch knife closed. Very kind of big, beefy knife. I don't have small hands, but I don't have massive, big hands either. But you can see it sticks out both sides, so it is a fairly large knife. Um, so that makes it 8.5 inches open, and that is, like I said, kind of a larger knife. It's not like ridiculously huge or anything like that, but it is a larger type knife. Um, as I mentioned, this is an AUS 8 stainless steel blade. I've talked about this many times in the past. AUS 8 is definitely adequate, much preferred by a lot of people. On cheaper knives, it just performs very well. Easy to sharpen, easy to touch up. Fantastic. You have a good utility style blade here. Again, full flat grind is going to be very effective in your slicing. You have enough belly on the front of the knife here for a lot of cutting chores, getting in those boxes, doing your just everyday average stuff. Handles on here are an FRN, and the texture on here is actually pretty smooth. If I come in close and show you a close-up here, you can see the texturing on there, but it's not super effective. It's pretty much smooth. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a smooth knife. It doesn't look like it would be smooth, but it is. But I have no problems with that. Some people get a little caught up with, texturing and little details here and there. Not a big deal. I don't personally use my knives hard enough to really need a super grippy, like, grip tape style handles. If you're in the military or law enforcement, you may have more of a need for a more textured or more aggressive texturing on your knives. Me being just a regular old civilian and using my knives for just mostly everyday tasks and not doing anything too extreme, not an issue for me. So, food for thought. But anyway, what else? Fantastic ergonomics on these. Nice little finger control here. They are liner locking knives, as you can see here. How's the lockup? Good. Very good. I've used this one a lot more since I've had it. Let me try this one. Still very good. By the way, this black coating, it's very good with wear so far. I've cut a lot of cardboard with this. I did a bunch of recycling chores. I cut down some milk jugs, plastic milk jugs, as well as a bunch of plastic 2-liter soda bottles. And let me show you the wear on this. Just some slight wear on the very edge. You can see there just a little bit off that, right on top of that bevel. but not much at all. You know, I was actually surprised. I thought this would be all scratched up and you know, coming off and chipping and stuff like that. It's actually held up pretty well to some heavier cutting tasks. But I still prefer the satin finish blades. Get those fingerprints off there. Yeah, so fantastic performing knives. Let's see. What else can I say about this? So much to talk about. Very smooth opening. You could see there, beginning of the video, kind of flick them open. You have dual thumb studs here for left or right hand operation, and they are smooth, lightning fast. Let's see that again. Nice. That's because these have nice bronze phosphorus bushings, or excuse me, not bushings, washers. Bronze phosphorus washers, which I don't think you can see. Let me try to get it close, but I don't think you'll be able to pick up on those. I can't really see them. Pretty tight. Oh, there you go. A little bit of reflective there. Looks kind of like a brass colored, or almost coppery colored. And anyway, makes for a very smooth knife. These are oiled, but they're not like ridiculously oiled, and they're not loose. That's the thing. You see a lot of cheap knives people get. They can kind of flick them out, and they go, "Oh boy, you know, that's a real fast knife." Well, most of the time it's sloppy. You know, there's a lot of blade play, and that's why you can whip them out. And you see guys, you know, the cheap old knives, you can kind of flick your wrist, and they pop out, and that's usually why. If you have a nice smooth knife like this, and you check that blade play, and there's nothing in there, there's no play left, right, up, down. That's because you have good tolerances in the knife. You have some decent washers, and it's lubed. You know, it's ready to go. So it's tight. It's not just flopping around. That's why, you know, these better knives are better built knives, in my opinion. You can knock those out nice and fast. They're nice and fast, and they're smooth opening. But the big key here is the big point is that they still lock up very tightly. They're not loose in the pivots. But if it was loose, you could adjust those. These use Torx screws for the pivot screw as well as the body screws. You see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 body screws. This is a pillar design knife. So you have these standoffs on the back, so it's completely open. Very easy to clean that pocket lint out. All kinds of gunk, you know, that you accumulate carrying the knife and using it. If you use this out in the woods or something like that, you get all kinds of mud and crud and who knows what in there, maybe some animal guts if you use this to hunt. Very easy to clean. So you have that open pillar design. Some people like that, some people don't like it. I don't have a preference either way, but it does make cleaning easy, I can tell you that. You can even get in there if you have an air compressor or something, just blow out all that lint in about 2 seconds, and then you're done. But yeah, fantastic knives. Awesome knives for the price. Again, let's go back to that blade. AUS 8 stainless steel. I think for $20 to $30, that's fantastic. I think AUS 8 is about the best you're going to do in most cases. Once you get a little bit more expensive, you can get into some other steels. But AUS 8 is definitely adequate and definitely a good bargain steel for that price. There's a whole slew of knives out there with 440C in that price range, and nothing against 440C. It's a fantastic blade steel, but it tends to be a little bit harder than the AUS 8. So a little bit harder to sharpen, a little bit harder to maintain. It's a really good steel choice in the price range here. Pocket clip on this is swappable, reversible. You put it wherever you want. You got drilled and tapped all 4 spots. You got right side carry, left side carry, tip up, tip down, wherever you want it. And actually, the person who had this before me had this left side carry, so I'm assuming they're lefties. So this was a lefty-friendly knife for them. And there you go. Probably one of the few folding knives I can fling out lefty nice and fast, as opposed to opening nice and slow. It's nice and smooth. It's that bronze phosphorus washers in there. But fantastic knife. Trying to see if I can. Oh, let's look at the liners in here. I actually didn't check this before, but they're not drilled out or skeletonized at all. But not a huge deal. It's not a super heavy knife. To be honest, actually, you know what? I don't have the weight on this knife. If you can hang in there for a second, let me go grab my scale. I'll weigh it right here for you. Not really prepared. I didn't write down the weight on this, but lucky I have the scale close by. So let's check this out. Let's see how much this weighs. Now I want to do ounces, which I'm in right now. Let's make sure that's at 0. Let's clear that. Alright, so we're at absolute 0 right now. Let's see how much this weighs. Let's see. Got the sun in my eyes. Alright. That's 5.065 ounces. So, or just switch to 5.07. It's kind of teetering. Let's get another reading on here. Make sure it's at 0. And we got 5.06 it's staying at. So there you go. Just over 5 ounces. You know, it's not a lightweight, I'll give you that, but it is a bigger knife, so you know, it's to be expected. It's not super lightweight. To be honest, weight doesn't matter to me at all. I've carried knives that were, I don't know, 8-9 ounces for folding knives. It's not a big deal. If you are in a tactical situation, or if you're a police officer, so forth, you carry a lot of gear, yes, it will be an issue for you. Weight is always an issue for law enforcement because they do, in fact, carry a whole bunch of different gear. But if you're talking about me and you, the average guy, or most people watching, weight doesn't matter. A lot of times what you have in your pockets is your knife, your main knife, maybe some keys, maybe if you smoke, a lighter. That's pretty much it. So weight's not a huge, critical factor for most people. But yeah, it's not a lightweight, a little over 5 ounces. But not bad. Feels good in the hands, well balanced. Just awesome, awesome knife. As I mentioned before, I think I mentioned dual thumb studs. Good design of thumb studs. A small pyramid, very easy to use. They're accessible. They're not recessed too much into the handle, so you have a little space, in between the handle and the thumb stud, which gives you access to that thumb stud. Sometimes you get knife models that have the thumb stud right up against there, and it gets kind of hard to get in there. Now this is right, if you naturally just grab the knife, it's right there for you. You pop that open, and you're in business. So, awesome, awesome knife. One bad thing I don't like about this knife at all, and that is the jimping. Now, I've mentioned before, I think in a previous video, that I don't think jimping is a big deal in general. Whether you have it, you don't have it, it's good, it's bad, it's not critical. I don't use a knife in this position a whole lot anyway. A lot of times I'm in the natural grip. But I have to say, this is horrible jimping, in my opinion. Let me get in close to talk about this. It is a very deep cut. As you see there, it's a very deep cut. The problem is it's very rounded. It's extremely rounded. So being that it's so deeply cut, it's not like a shallow cut. There's little chunks of metal missing there, and the fact that it's rounded, those two together is a very uncomfortable feeling. It doesn't really stop my hand. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's uncomfortable. But you know what? Like I said, jimping isn't really important. Let's say you have horrible, horrible jimping, and you're really using this knife hard, and you slipped off. Well, big deal. Who cares? Put your thumb back. It's not like you're going to cut yourself. Your thumb can't get where the blade is, specifically on this knife, so it doesn't matter where I put my thumb there. It's not going to affect it. So it's not a huge deal to me, but I did want to mention it. It is one hit I'll take on this knife, is horrible. Compared to one of my favorite affordable knives, the Spyderco Tenacious. Now I broke this out. I want to do a direct comparison between these in a minute here. You can see this one's nice and dirty. Been using this a lot. But anyway, this jimping is it's a shorter cut. It's not as deep. Let me try to get these side by side, and I'll show you a comparison here. First, there's the Spyderco Tenacious. Get that focus. It's not as deep. Let me come over and show you those as the Ontario Rat, but you can see it's not as rounded either. Okay, it's a little bit sharper edges, so it grips into your skin, and that's just extremely rounded there. So it's like night and day. It's 100 times more comfortable, and maybe it has something to do with the ramp too. Here, there's a little bit of a thumb ramp, but it is just so much more comfortable to hold a knife like this with the Spyderco Tenacious as opposed to the Ontario Rat Model 1. So I definitely do not like the jimping on this at all. Now, as I mentioned before, this is probably one of my most suggested knives under the, I don't know, $40 price range. If you don't have a lot of money to spend, you're just really on a tight budget. Maybe you just have, a lot of bills. Maybe you're just a young kid, who only has a limited allowance, or something. And you just do not have the money to spend. Since I got this knife, I've always suggested and recommended this one, because this is just a fantastic deal. However, this one is a very, very close second. If you don't like this leaf style blade, you know, I would definitely go with the rat model. Blade, the actual sharpened edges are almost identical on these. You can see they're just like right there. Almost the same exact cutting edge. I will say that the rat has more belly. What I'm talking about right here, this curve is the belly of the knife. You have more belly to work with, which I kind of prefer. However, you know, I don't know. It's just so close. I really, really like the feel. The ergos on both these knives are fantastic. But I'm going to have to probably say, I don't know, it's close, guys, but I think I'm going to go with the Spyderco just for the ergonomics, the little bit of jimping here. I kind of like, there's more of a point. See, when you have a lot of belly like here, it's really good for your cutting edge, but you lack, or you miss out a little bit on that point being as acute. You see with this leaf-shaped blade, less belly, but a more acute tip. Okay, so penetration is a little bit better. You know, besides that, I actually prefer a thumb stud more than I do a opening hole. But I don't know, something about this Tenacious. I have a bond with it. If you saw my review on this, it bit me pretty good. It tasted my blood, so I guess we're blood brothers now. I don't know. I just love this knife so much. But I have to say, very, very close second. If I couldn't have this anymore, I definitely want to replace it with this. You put it that way. But both knives are fantastic. You can see the rat folder is obviously a little bit bigger overall because of that handle. And that's one thing that you do get with the rat knife is you get a lot more handle to hold on to. You can see again sticking out by my pinky. The Spyderco Tenacious is not as large. I still have a very comfortable grip on it, but I don't know. Two fantastic knives. Can't go wrong with either one, but this video is not on the Tenacious. This video is on these. So let me bring this one back in screen. And let's see, is there anything else I can say? You got blacked out hardware. The all blacked out version is just cool. All black knives just tend to be cool knives in general. But again, that coating will eventually wear off. I don't care what company you're talking about. Doesn't matter what coating they use. It will eventually wear off. You can see on the pocket clip on these, you do have your Randall Adventure Training or RAT logo. Come in close for you. There it is, that triangle. And that's pretty much it. Torque screws on your pocket clip. These clips are good. These actually are very reminiscent of the Benchmade clips in just how they feel, the actual design of them. Very, very close. I wouldn't be surprised if they got their clips from the same supplier. But anyway, awesome knives. You really cannot go wrong with these guys unless you just don't buy one. Like I said, you know, they're getting harder and harder to get over time. Or if they're not hard to get right now, they will be. So I suggest picking one up while you can. Awesome knives for the price, definitely. I would say these are one of the best knives for the $20 to $30 price range. If these were, let's say, $40 or $50, I would say they're still very, very good. And if they were, let's say, I don't know, $60 or $70, I would say they're okay. So because of the fact they are $20 or $30, they're excellent. So definitely get one if you can. If you're interested in the design, you like the overall look of it, you have a use for it, go for it. It's a fantastic knife. And in either flavor. You know, like I said, I happen to prefer unfinished, or uncoated, rather, plain edge blade. So this one definitely gets my pick. But I have to say, the combo edge has grown on me a little bit. Did a lot of work with this one. A lot of recycling, broke it down for my, you know, my garbage, and I don't know, I liked it quite a bit. So anyway, both knives are fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I enjoyed making it for you. I got plenty of knives to come in the near future, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So thanks again for watching the video. I always appreciate it, guys. Really, you know that's true. And I just have fun making these videos for you. I'm glad you enjoy them. So that's it. I'm officially done now. Take care.